Learning going up in flames.
This really raises eyebrows very seriously.
28 schools are targeted, some burnt, others vandalized. Angry residents want to be taken seriously about changes to municipal boundaries, so they've resorted to destruction.
I support my people in their opposition to the new municipality.
Vuwani quickly made headlines over demarcation issues.
The only problem that they're having now, there is no consultation from the beginning.
Boundaries are changed to make municipalities more efficient. But with demarcation protests dating back years, there's clearly a gap between those who make the decisions and how those decisions are received by the people who have to live with them. And one protest in particular has left a disturbing legacy. In 2006, Kutzong was meant to be moved from Gauteng to Northwest Province, but the people protested.
There are a number of reasons why we've decided not to go to Northwest. Number one, the buying power is based in Gauteng.
About a decade ago, this building lay in ruins. It was anarchy as Kutzong residents destroyed public and private infrastructure. In the end, they triumphed, setting what has become a dangerous precedent.
What communities learned from Kutzong is that violence can work. Devastating a community can result in a reversal of decisions.
So the decision to incorporate Kutzong into the Northwest was reversed. Residents got their way and remained in Gauteng. This has made life difficult at the Municipal Demarcation Board. Residents now come knocking with the Kutzong success in mind. To make matters worse, officials say residents often don't distinguish between provincial and municipal boundary issues.
Provincial boundaries are not a mandate of the board. These are matters that are with Parliament, because when you talk changing provincial boundaries, then it's a matter of a constitution.
The Constitution mandates the board to determine and redetermine boundaries of metropolitan, district and local municipalities. With increasing competition on the political landscape, changing borders is becoming more of an issue with every election. On paper, the aim of altering boundaries is to create more efficient municipalities. It's also to improve and transform spatial planning, catering for all urban and rural South Africans. For this election cycle, the boundaries of at least 22 municipalities will be changed, with some merging, although there's no consensus as to whether this is the best way to deal with dysfunctional municipalities.
We don't actually know whether the promise and the potential of a municipal merger is going to work. That comes down to how well it's being carried out, and that requires a lot of provincial oversight and assistance.
In 2011, Tshwane absorbed several small municipalities which were no longer financially viable. This merger added 27 informal settlements to Tshwane's existing 33. The move was reportedly very costly, an estimated 1 billion rand. The capital has struggled to recover this money.
Measures of municipalities are not different from measures in business. And often there would be short-term losses. It will take time until a new entity settles down.
One analyst believes losses are often unavoidable.
While those costs eventually absorbed over time and those new residents do benefit, somebody is picking up the tab at some stage. So I think mergers in many ways do represent a compromise.
A lack of capacity is also often a problem.
It's very difficult to get skilled people to work in remote rural areas, and with not very much support from national or provincial government.
And it's not just costs and resources which pose challenges. Changes to boundaries can also affect political parties. The opposition Democratic Alliance cried foul over the Tshwane merger, saying it was an election ploy to help the ANC retain power, while a merger in the northwest ahead of the August poll is also raising similar suspicions.
The municipality of Tlokwe has been ping-ponging back and forth between the ANC and a coalition of opposition parties. That municipality will be merged with Ventersdorp, and Ventersdorp pre-merger has a majority of 8 seats for the ANC. So just based on the current numbers, that new municipality would have an ANC majority.
The board isn't worried about questions around its integrity, as it believes it has the necessary checks and balances in place.
One day it will favor one party, the other time it favors another party, and surely that's not part of the things we take into consideration when we draw boundaries.
Experts say, for the most part, the board's credibility is intact.
It's not a situation where the demarcation board can simply announce from on high, these are the new municipalities, and there's no legal recourse. And in the vast majority of cases, the demarcation board wins in those appeal processes, and I think that is an indication that it is an independent organisation.
From civil society to political parties, there are calls for the board to allow more public participation when making decisions.
We are now looking at various ways of engaging the public, and we believe that that engagement and public education about demarcation issues would lessen the kind of protest that we see.
The job of the demarcation board is often made even more difficult when ethnic tensions arise, as happened in Vuwani between Chivenda and Chitsonga-speaking communities. It's a painful reminder of the legacy of apartheid, and it provides yet another example of how socio-economic issues can affect the integrity of municipal decisions.
In many instances, a job in the local council is one of the very, very few well-paid job opportunities that are available. And when two municipalities merge, a lot of these opportunities disappear. And where we have local political conflict and patronage over who gets access to those opportunities, we must expect conflict.
In a complex, diverse and changing country like ours, determining spatial boundaries is about more than just dealing with past racial tensions. For many, it's also about restoring dignity and knowing that they have a say, especially about what happens in their own communities. Kathy Motlahlana, Constitution Hill.